Hello, today I would like to read to you a true story that is truly inspiring and so heartwarming. It makes me actually cry every time, so I hope I can detain myself this time. It's just a small white envelope stuck among the branches of our Christmas tree. No name, no identification, no inspiration. It has peeked through the branches of our tree for the past 10 years or so. It all began because my husband Mike hated Christmas. Oh, not the true meaning of Christmas, but the commercial aspect of it. Overspending, the frantic running around at the last minute to get a tie for Uncle Harry and the dusting powder for Grandma, and gifts given in desperation because you couldn't think of anything else. Knowing he felt this way, I decided one year to bypass the usual shirt and sweaters and ties and so forth. And I reached for something special just for Mike. The inspiration came in an unusual way. Our son Kevin, who was 12 years of age, was wrestling at the junior level at the school he attended, and shortly before Christmas, there was a non-league match against a team sponsored by an inner-city church, mostly black kids. The youngsters, dressed in sneakers so ragged that shoestrings seemed to be the only thing holding them together, presented a sharp contrast to our boys in their spiffy blue-gold uniforms and sparkling new wrestling shoes. As the match began, I was alarmed to see that the other team was wrestling without headgear, a kind of light helmet designed to protect a wrestler's ears. It was a luxury the ragtag team obviously could not afford. Well, we ended up enveloping them. We took every weight class, and as each of the boys got up from the mat, he swaggered around in his tatters with false bravado, a kind of street pride that couldn't acknowledge defeat. Mike, seated beside me, shook his head sadly. I wish just one of them could have won, he said. They have a lot of potential, but losing like this could take the heart right out of them. Mike loved kids, all kids, and he knew them, having coached Little League football, baseball, and lacrosse. That's when the idea of the present came. That afternoon, I went to a local sporting goods store and bought an assortment of wrestling headgear and shoes, and then sent them anonymously to the inner city church. On Christmas Eve, I placed the envelope on the tree. The note inside telling Mike what I had done and that this gift was his from me. His smile was the brightest thing about Christmas that year and in the exceeding years. For each Christmas, I followed the tradition. One year sending a group of mentally handicapped youngsters to a hockey game. Another year, a check to a pair of elderly brothers whose home had burned to the ground the week before Christmas, and so on and so on. The envelope became the highlight of our Christmas. It was always the last thing opened on Christmas morning, and our children, ignoring their own new toys, would stand with wide-eyed anticipation as their dad lifted the envelope from the tree to reveal its content. As the children grew, the toys gave way to more practical presents, but the envelope never lost its allure. The story doesn't end here, and I want to say that this is a true story. You see, we lost Mike last year due to the dreaded cancer. When Christmas rolled around, I was still so wrapped in grief and barely got the tree up. But Christmas Eve found me placing an envelope on the tree, and in the morning it was joined by 3 more. Each of our children, unbeknownst to the others, had placed an envelope on the tree for their dad. The tradition had grown and someday will expand even further with our grandchildren standing around the tree with wide-open anticipation, watching as their father take down the envelope. I hope this story was inspiring to you to be more giving this year and to be more kind and thinking of others. I wish you a wonderful day.